Hey guys, it's Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com, and we're back with the third out of three extra day Par-tay projects. Now, extra day Par-tay is a appreciation event for my customers and team, and frankly, I want to say thank you to anybody who has done a couple of things for me during celebration. See, February is notoriously kind of a slow month, and I wanted to pick it up a little bit by offering this appreciation event for my customers. So, if you place a $50 order in January and in February, if you had a workshop of $300 or more with me in January or February, if you joined my team in January or February, or if you joined the kitchenettes with one of my direct team members, those are the ways that you score an invite to the extra day Par-tay. We're getting together on the 29th on Leap Day for our lunch and projects. And if you're not local, no worries. You're still going to get these great projects in the mail, and you can join me by video on the 29th too. If you haven't already gotten your invitation, then something's wrong, because we're on the last project in just a couple of days away from the Par-tay. So if you think that you should have gotten an invitation and didn't, check your spam folder and reach out to me. My phone number is on Facebook and on the blog. All right, so we've got Daffodil Delight cardstock here. It's the base for this box. It's 5 by 5 7/8. We're gonna score on the 5 7/8 inch side at 3/8, and then we're gonna score again at 5, and then we're gonna score at 5 3/8. All right, now we want to rotate this guy. And this is really important. We want to rotate to the left 1/4 of a turn so that the bottom of our box is down. So this 3/8 inch score, we want that one down. There will be a picture of this on the printable project sheet so that you can see these details. It'll help you with how you're scoring and how you trim away the excess. So now we're on the 5-inch side, and we're going to score it in 1/2. We're going to score at 7/8. 2 3/4, and 3 1/8. Now let's grab a bone folder and work these scores and trim out the excess. Got my bone folder, and we're going to really work these scores well, and I work them both directions. I just think you get a cleaner box if you work them inside out first. All right, I've worked the score lines both ways. The paper fibers are nice and soft. Let me bring in this little template. We want this glue tab 1/2 inch and then the 7/8 inch on your left-hand side. And let's get some paper snips and cut away first this bottom little rectangle that's gonna liberate the bottom of our glue tab. So away with that little square in the bottom corner. And then we're also going to cut then at the long tab diagonal, and then we're going to cut out 2 little squares. All right, so there's our glue tab. At the bottom of the box, we're going to cut out the scores, little darts. We're going to cut up to the intersecting score line, and then stop and pull out that little piece. We're just kind of debulking the bottom of our box and liberating the tabs here. All right, that's the bottom of the box. Now at the top of the box, we're going to cut all the way across this long panel. So opposite side of your glue tab, you're going to cut all the way across, not on the first score line, but on the second one, until you hit the intersecting score line, and then cut down and take out those 2 rectangles. So there's 2 rectangles gone. Then let's go ahead and cut the next score line out, little dart, and then cut off and make a tab. Pull out that little dart. And the same right here, we're going to cut out the score line to the second intersecting score line, little dart, and then cut off to make a tab. All right, so we're getting there. Now we need a corner rounder, a 1/2 inch circle punch. Okay, I'm gonna bring in a piece of grid paper for just a second here. Stampin' Up! Grid paper has a centering ruler on the bottom of the page. So when it's upside down, the Stampin' Up! Logo is in your bottom left corner upside down, there's a 0 centering ruler. What we're gonna do here is we're just gonna drop our box on here. It's actually 1 7/8 of an inch. So what we wanna do is get that little 0, that little centering line, or that little 0 on the center. So you need about a 1/16 of an inch from the 1, and then about a 1/16 of an inch from the fold. See how when we fold that up, it's not quite to the grid line? And that little dot there gives you perfect placement for your circle. So if you struggle with punching that thumb notch and punching it centered, use the centering ruler on the bottom of the grid paper. Now you can use the corner rounder of your choice here. I've got a little 1/4 inch corner rounder. Stampin' Up! Has a triple punch, a little triangle punch that has a corner rounder on it currently. I don't like triangle punches. The one thing you can always count on from Kitchen Table Stamper is honesty. If I love a product, I love a product. I love Stampin' Up! And I love most of their products, but right now there's not a corner rounder that I like. So use one of your choice. It's okay, crafty girls do what they want, right? All right, so then there we are. There's our box base. See? Pretty good. We're gonna bring that grid paper back in, and I'm gonna fold it in half here just so that it fits in the camera view better. We're protecting our work surface. We're going to stamp the background of our box. We're using Daffodil Delight cardstock, so we need Daffodil Delight ink. We're gonna get this gorgeous little flower tone on tone. The flower stamp comes from the new Tags in Bloom stamp set. Now the Tags in Bloom stamp set is a stamp set that you cannot buy, but you can earn it. Starting in March, it's a new celebration item. I'm really excited about this one. You can have this one free with a $100 purchase, and it coordinates with the Label Me Fancy and the Label Me Lovely punches. All right, it's a photopolymer set, so I'm going to slide my Stampin' Pierce mat right underneath here, and let's get some random stamping on this box. When I do random, it's not all entirely random. I like to kind of work loose triangles, rotating my stamp as I go, and they don't need to be too close together to give us a good effect here. Okay, when you've filled in the box to your liking, let's clear away the Daffodil Delight ink pad and let's assemble this box. Got some tear and tape adhesive right here. It's pretty simple. We're gonna run tear and tape adhesive down the front side of our glue tab. Remove the liner from that. Use your take your pick tool, save your nails. I should do it all the time. Such a creature of habit. Now, gonna fold in your glue tab, fold over the back of the box, and square up the corners and the edges. Once you've got it, you like the placement, then you just flatten the box and burnish. Now the bottom side, you're going to take the side tabs, tuck them in, bring the back to the front, and now on this tab right here, you're going to add a piece of tear and tape adhesive right across the tab. Remove the liner, or now the seams go to the back of the box. This box is made with these Moser Roth chocolate bars in mind. I love this candy. It's 85% cocoa. This dark one is my favorite. That's the one that I eat all the time. I got a milk chocolate here so that my customers could choose which they like best. It's almost the size of like 2 Ghirardelli squares. It's a little bit, it's kind of a little stout bar of chocolate. And go ahead and drop the candies in the box. Close the lid. I love that it's a resealable box. And we're gonna take some denim ribbon now. And I haven't measured how much I need, so I haven't put them in my kit yet. But your ribbon will be in your kit. I'm gonna just tie off of my spool, and then I'm actually gonna pause and measure. So I'll be killing two birds with one stone. But you wanna wrap all the way around and then still have enough for a pretty bow. So it's gonna take kind of a substantial bit of ribbon, but I really loved the idea of this new floral with daffodil, white, and denim. It just really charged me up. All right, so you're gonna tie a bow and then slide it so that it's about, what would that be? Maybe 3/8 of an inch from the top. And then you can cut and liberate from the spool. I'm gonna actually cut it away from the spool and then measure how long I need for my kits. Okay, let's set this dude aside and do some stamping. We need our Stampin' Pierce mats and some Memento Tuxedo black ink. The other thing in my kit are 2 pieces of Whisper white cardstock. Now, one's just a little bit bigger than the other. I've got 2.5 by 3.5 and 2.5 by 3.25. I think that the 2.5 by 3.25 would probably work for both, but let's see here. We're gonna take our little stitch label, and it's going to coordinate with this Label Me Lovely punch. So we want to watch the orientation of the punch and stamp in the way that it's going to be easiest, most convenient to get our image punched out. So there's our little stitch. Inside the stitching, we're going to stamp. Happiness looks gorgeous on you. And we're going to center that. Now here's a little bit bigger Label Me Lovely kind of shape with a floral on top. It's a big guy, so I'm going to bring my stamping pad to the stamp. I always either bring the stamp to the ink pad or the ink pad to the stamp. One is always firmly on the surface. That way you get the best possible ink coverage. Symbol monkeys don't get good ink coverage. So now that we've inked up this larger image, let's go ahead and stamp it. It's actually going to be pretty close. It's a little close in the width. We might have to go a little wider for our piece. Gorgeous. Now here is the fun part. This is the thing I love best about the tags in bloom. You look at the images here. Let's set that aside, let it dry a little bit longer. These little images fit in and fill in this floral. So we're gonna grab the stamps on blocks and our Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, and Mango Melody stamping pads. Okay, so when you're putting these stamps on the block, I want to show you something. On the index is indicated which way goes up. So I'm going to peel my flower and I'm going to put it on the block the same way the arrow shows up. You see that? And the same with this. So Stampin' Up makes it really easy to get perfect placement on these stamps. Now watch. We're going to take our Old Olive and our leaf image, ink up, and stamp right in. There's one. Another Old Olive image, ink up, stamp right in. And we already know which way is up because it showed us right on the index. How cool is that? Then our flower center. We're going to ink up in Mango Melody and stamp that side up. And then Daffodil Delight for our flower image. And fill in. Super pretty, isn't it? I love to color, but I also love a break from coloring when there's something cool like this. All right, I'm gonna cut this out with scissors. We gotta fussy cut that one. We can punch out the sentiment that layers inside of it, but let's fussy cut the label and get rid of the ink pads, and I'll be right back. All right, all trimmed out. Let's get this thing assembled. We're almost done. There's our label, our sample, and here's our sentiment. Let's go ahead and line this up in the punch and punch out our sentiment. See that gorgeous little stitching perfectly in that label punch. Now, because it's a treat box and because I love a bump, let's go ahead and add some Stampin' Dimensionals to our box. I'm going to actually secure my ribbon with several little Stampin' Dimensionals. Get the corners here and the edges. I'm going to use up all this adhesive. Don't throw any pieces away. Doesn't matter if they're the edges or whatever. We're going to use them up. I'm going to add some pieces of dimensional adhesive to Happiness Looks Gorgeous on You. And let's see, maybe another dimensional cut in half. Okay, my dimensional adhesive is all sticky. Let's center Happiness Looks Gorgeous on You inside of our little floral label. And now we'll center that right to left, but high of center, right on top of those dimensionals. There it is. Happiness Looks Gorgeous on You. If you've got any questions about the Extra Day Par-tay customer appreciation event, about the kitchenettes or joining the kitchenettes, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. If you'd like to shop 24/7, you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching.